Hey friends, it's Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm decorating my dining room for fall, and I'm going to be using all of the deep, moody colors. We're going for drama today, just in decorating. I don't like drama in real life. But before we get started, I wanted to just share with you something that I've wanted for a long time, and I've been putting it off. If you've been following me, you might remember me talking about this. So I'm going to first show you my new piece of furniture, and then we're going to get started decorating. It is this arched cabinet from Amazon. My old cabinet that was here is now being used in my decor room for storage, so you'll see it again if I ever show you my storage room. It came with 4 shelves, and then I also added this lighting. There is a remote to it, but I'm just turning it on to show you the settings. The first one is daylight. The second one is a soft light, which I prefer because the daylight setting just about blinds you. This is not a sponsored video, but I figured I would just show you the remote. You can set it for 30, 60, or 120 minutes, and you can brighten or dim the lights. And I know it's a small thing, but I really like the soft closed doors. It just makes it feel kind of high end, even though it really isn't. The cabinet was fairly inexpensive, and so while it isn't solid wood, it's still such a good price that you kind of get what you pay for. And so with that, I think the price was well worth it. And look who has to join in on the fun. He just parked himself there. It's so cute. That's our Chase. So the first thing I decided to do was to change out the wall art on this side of the room to something a little more high-end to go with the cabinet. You might recognize that bottom picture. That's from Hobby Lobby last year. They still carry it. The frame was originally a gray and I painted it gold. And then this picture above came with a white matting, and I went to Amazon and bought a brown matting because I wanted a little more of a contrast. And of course, I have to start with my arched cabinet because I'm really excited to decorate it for the first time for you. I like how this greenery is variegated. Is that the right word? Where some of it looks like it's already turned those burnt fall colors and some of it isn't. Believe it or not, that greenery came from a thrift store along with a bundle of more fall greenery. And the vase was also thrifted. The taller vase, that is. The shorter one came from Walmart. This little trinket box was a fairly recent find from the at-home store. I like the size of it and that it just kind of fits anywhere. And then this you might recognize is from Walmart's new collection. And then next I'm going to jump down to the second shelf where I'm going to add these thrifted glasses. I love to go thrifting, and when I do, I always check the dishes because I find some of the nicest dishes at the thrift store. And while we're on the subject of thrifting, this book was also thrifted. I found this for I think $3. I've always liked the taste of home magazines, and this book is focused on farm life, so there's also a lot of cute pictures in it. I purchased this pumpkin from a decor store that's local to me. I like that antique gold color. So after we get this cabinet decorated, we'll take a step back and I'll show you how it all turned out. And hopefully you'll see the purposeful balance that I've created with the whites and the golds, and then contrasting that with the black colors as well. This was thrifted for $1. I just put some decorative matches in there and stuck a striker to the bottom. I don't know if it was supposed to be a match holder or what it was supposed to be for, but that's what I'm using it for. This gold bowl is from Ross. It was only $9. I always tell people to be sure and check Ross if you have one near you because I have found so many good deals. You would never know that that bowl was $9, would you? Now I get to play with the remote again and turn the lights back on. I didn't want them on while I was decorating because there was a glare. Hopefully you can kind of see how I try to visually balance my pieces by not placing too much of one color on either side, but rather spacing it out with a diagonal symmetry. It kind of helps to draw the eye and keeps things interesting. Apparently he's decided to switch to the chair. He's never sat on this chair before, so I'm kind of entertained by that, but he still has to be part of the action. I apologize somewhat insincerely to anybody out there who is tired of seeing me show my cats. But I have 7 of them, and I love them all, and I love to show them, so I guess that's part of coming to my channel. I will be doing a fall tablescape as well. That'll be right after this, so if you're interested in that, be sure to stick around. I know I've mentioned it before, but these spiral candles always remind me of my grandma's house. It is funny how things come back. I wish my grandma could come back for a day. She would be so excited that I have a decor channel. She loved to decorate for the seasons, which, come to think of it, might be where I got it from. She was like a second mom to me. In fact, I wrote a poem about her that we read at her funeral. Well, I didn't read it, the pastor read it, because there was no way I could have kept it together. But someday I'll read it on this channel. I really like this lantern, but they definitely didn't make it very user-friendly, trying to get that lit up. I always feel like I'm going to break the glass. You definitely don't want to push down too hard on the glass, but I still wanted to get it straight, so I think I did it. And you may notice that I'm also using the edge of the lantern to kind of push the picture back and keep it in place. Now I'm going to add in a gold candle snuffer, which of course is strictly for looks because the candles are battery operated, but that's okay. Now with this next endeavor, and I say endeavor purposefully, I have a thrifted basket and some lights, and I'm also going to add some leaves and some acorns. Now it's kind of going to be like a bowl filler slash arrangement. I have really mixed feelings about how this turned out, so you can let me know what you think. So if you like it, great, and if you don't, that's perfectly fine because I'm not sure what to think either, but I wanted to do something a little different. I probably could have used a few more leaves. I didn't have any, and maybe spaced out the lights a little bit better, but I do think it looks really cozy. Now that I'm looking at it again, I'm wondering if some faux berries or grapes, maybe even some cinnamon sticks would look nice in there. As you probably saw, this picture has a defect on it because it fell off my shelf in my decor room, but it's going to be tucked under, so I don't think it'll be obvious. And then I have this smaller black picture, and this was a thrifted vase. I thought about painting it, but I've decided I kind of like that earthy color. So I decided to add one more thing to the top of this buffet, and that is a glass pumpkin. And here it is. It originally had like a bottom to it made of cardboard, but I pulled that off because I wanted to put lights in it. And so I'm gonna go find some lights. I was pretty sure that I had some in the drawer, and how about that? Sure enough, I looked and found them, amazingly enough. But now for the biggest question, do they work? Well, look at that, amazing. At first, I was going to tuck the plastic box into the pumpkin with the lights, but I decided that it was too obvious. So instead, I thought I would just kind of stick it behind the vase there. And that would also make it easier for me to turn the light box off and on. In just a moment, I'll show you how this buffet turned out, and then we'll move on to decorating our fall tablescape. The first thing I'm going to do is to come in with this table runner. It's two-sided. There's a lighter side on the opposite side, but I'm going to go with this darker color. For my centerpiece, I'm starting off with this vase from Ashley Furniture, but I picked it up from a bargain store. So I only spent $16 for it. And then I later looked online, and I think it's like a $50 vase if I'm not mistaken. So I felt like I got a pretty good deal. And then to it, I'm adding these Target stems that I bought last year. I don't know offhand if they're carrying them again this year, but they probably have something similar. I was reattaching a leaf right here that came off. I was glad to see that I could put it back on. And then I decided to add some lights. Now right here, I was undecided whether I should use one light stem or two. And by the way, these light stems are super cheap from Amazon. I think I spent $10 for the two of them last year. I wanted to get the light stems in evenly with the leaves. And after some off-camera fussing, I decided to just go with one light stem. You see that? There's a kitty out there. See, my cats get into my videos whether I plan it or not. I can't help it. So another thrift find. I didn't even realize I was using so many thrift finds for this video, but this little house lantern, I guess you'd call it, was maybe 50 cents at the most. And I'm just putting a candle inside of it. I'm guessing nobody would have even noticed, but I put that house the wrong direction. There's supposed to be a door on the front, but I do fix it later. Sometimes I get so busy filming that I just miss the obvious. I don't know if there's anything cozier for fall than pumpkins in a basket. I thought about adding lights to this too, but then I decided I didn't want to get crazy or crazier. I do love my lights though. Now, if I was actually having a fall meal, I would probably add some muffins or some cookies to this cloche. But because I don't have anything on hand, I'm just going to go ahead and add some pumpkins for a decorative touch. Now, before we move on to decorating the rest of my tablescape, I'm going to show you what I did with my placemats. I'm applying a stain. This is the Minwax Special Walnut color, but you could probably use any kind of darker color. Now, here's the deal. I only did one side of the placemats and it worked really well. I thought it would leak through and it really didn't. And here's the comparison. Here's the side that's done and the side that isn't. And I'm going to put them side by side so you can see the contrast better. And the reason I did that is because the darker color is more for a formal tablescape. But if I want to use the lighter side for something more informal, I can just flip them around. I might even go back with a second coat on that stained side just to make it a little more rich in color. These plates were thrifted for 89 cents each. I know you're all probably tired of hearing about me thrifting things, but for 89 cents, I figured that's even cheaper than the Dollar Tree, especially considering the Dollar Tree keeps going up. I recently purchased these chocolate brown napkins from Amazon, and I thought they would look really nice with my brushed gold napkin rings. I think the gold is just a nice subtle touch. And then I have some brushed gold silverware to match. This is just from Walmart, so it is not expensive, but it looks very high-end. And perhaps I should specify that that silverware was just bought in store, not online. Next, I'm going to add my water goblets from Dollar Tree, and I call them water goblets because that's what the tag said on the bottom of the glasses, and we're not drinkers. Now I'm going to give you an overview of my dining table, and lastly, I'll give you an overview of the entire dining room so that you can see how everything turned out and how everything came together. And I'm also going to show you a really quick night glow of everything. At 1:30 in the morning, I grabbed a chair from the kitchen to put in the living room so I could stand on it and show you all the lights at night from a bird's eye view, or at least a moth's view. And I wouldn't want to go much higher than that because I'm kind of scared of heights. And as I usually do, I will close this video out face to face. But in the meantime, would you click the like? I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And if you have time to leave a comment, I would love to hear what you have to say, what you think about how I decorated today. And if you have any questions about anything at all or where I purchased something, please don't hesitate to ask. And if I can provide you a link, I will do that as well. I didn't realize how much the lights were making everything blurry, especially on the right side, so I apologize for that, but hopefully you can kind of get the idea. I think it's still beautiful. There is some deer right now out on my front lawn. They like to eat from the apple trees, so I'm going to try to get a video of them. You can only see one, maybe two right there. And I wanted you to see them. I thought there might even be more. Sometimes we have 5 or 6 of them. Clearly, I scared them away. I didn't mean to, but I'm not worried. They always come back. They come back throughout the day. I was just wanting to catch that on video, and I thought it was convenient because here I am filming. All right, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, don't forget to like this video. I'd really appreciate it. That helps out small channels like mine. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, stay thankful.